All right, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Wednesday, November 30th, 2022. If you're not done so already, give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. Anyways, finally some volatility in the market here. No, not the volatility index, but just some movement here after several weeks of complete sideways chop here. We finally get a outside move here, and it does look like we're going to close above that 200 moving average there. You see the futures, we are peaking above it right now. It's 3:21 p.m. If we flip over to the spiders, we are above that as well. It would be a little micro red flag today if they pushed it back below tomorrow, or excuse me, by the end of the day today, excuse me. But for right now, I don't see any reason why they can't keep us above it. We are gamma squeezing. This is not a short squeeze. It's a gamma squeeze for the most part. I'm sure there are shorts getting squeezed, but this is mostly a gamma move. The expected move for today was really just capped at 400, and as soon as we blew through that, that's really when the market kind of took off. Obviously, Powell had a press conference today. That was also leaked a few minutes early. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that, but before he even went on board, there was tweets coming out of Powell's, what he was saying or he had said in the beige book. And, the first one was kind of dovish. It was basically like, yeah, we could look to, it's likely we're going to slow the rate of, pace of rate hikes in December. And that's what gave the algos that initial pop. And then he immediately afterward, another tweet came out where he said something to the effect of, this is a long road. We're not done. We're going to have a higher rate policy for an elevated or an extended period of time. And that's obviously pretty bearish. And the algos just don't even care at this point. So they just focused in on the bullish thing, and we got a gamma squeeze. So that is the bottom line here. It does look like we have a little bit of a breakout on our hands, and we're now most likely going to get to this trend line. Now, at this point, it's very, very close, but I'm going to have to say this trend line is minor. We can get through this trend line. So I would say next pivot is going to be right up here, that yellow trend line that I've been looking at here for quite a while. We will likely get through this. And if you can see it much better on the futures here. But that's a beautiful bull flag there. Let me just get rid of this. You don't even need that range. That's a beautiful inside bar there, beneath the 200, but above the 120 and 50 moving average. And if we just draw that trend line in here on the futures, so whenever you consolidate like this right beneath the level, generally you're building compression to break through that level. That's what the market is telling you, and it does look like we have enough to do that. So I would expect us to break through this trend line, and that's important. This is still a bear market. It's still bear market rally, but these rallies can go on longer than you think. And it's important for this to happen because it's really going to get the last kind of bears to stop out and cover, and it's going to get the last, the late bulls to jump in. And I've been telling you guys, even back in August, I said I really would like the SPX, the SPY, the futures, any one of them to get a close above that 200 moving average, because that's going to get all of the, the mainstream, the CNBC, types on board, and they're going to, start pumping the long side. Bear market's over, lows are in, all-time highs next year, that type of narrative. I want to see that start to come in, and I think you'll get that, and you'll get a lot of traders. The CNBC crowd doesn't look at these trend lines, but traders do. And if we break above this trend line, everybody's going to be calling for a bottom. So I want to see that. And honestly, as someone looking to short here, this is what you want to see. So the closer we can get up to, resistance, the more reward on the downside and the least amount of risk you have. So this is actually a good thing here. But nice move here for the markets. Can't take anything away. I've looked at everything I possibly can look at as far as validating the rally, and pretty much all the boxes have been checked here. I don't see any issues right now. So the rally does look like it has legs to me. The only thing that could change it if we had like an engulfing reversal or something of that nature tomorrow, which would be totally out of left field if you ask me. I do not expect that, but everything here does look like it's on the up and up, so the market is holding up well. Still squeezing up here, 405 now on the spiders. Look at the VIX getting absolutely mauled. Let's take a look at the actual VIX. Yeah, so this one, you don't, and again, maybe the VIX needs to break below 20. Maybe that's what is going to get everybody to think the low is in. So that's something that we can watch as well. Let's look at the triple Qs. So triple Qs finally, looks like we're going to get a close above 290. Remember, that is a critical level here. Now, this trend line on the Qs, this is still major. Okay, this is still major. This consolidation here, it's nice, but it's too far away from this level to make it minor. So this one is still major. Also has that 200 MA up there as well. So that could be a good target there for the triple Qs. And again, I've been telling you guys that whole round number around 300 is going to be kind of a good psychological level. So maybe a pierce of that. If we were to get up there, that would be major resistance. So we'll be watching that on the Qs. Let's flip over to the Russell. We haven't talked about that in a little while. This one still can get to 195. That's a little bit on the upper kind of like max move-ish, but I think it can get into the low 190s, 192, 193 perhaps. But again, no problems there. The Dow, nice pop here. It's almost up to that 345 area. This still has a little bit of upside in it, but I do not think it's very much. I think this has the least amount of upside out of the four major indices because it's already had such a big run here. So, but in any case, nice move here for the markets. And we will continue to respect it for now. Let's take a look at the semis. So semis having a nice day. Still, again, this is how you know it's not, there's still problems. Okay, so put it this way. What have we been talking about the last couple of days? Semiconductors, lower highs, right? Qs, lower high. Well, Qs still have lower highs. But spiders, high and then a higher high. And the Dow, high and a higher high. So semis are not showing leadership. That's a red flag. Cloud software not showing leadership. CrowdStrike got murdered yesterday. That did come off the lows. Inuit had a nice day, or Intuit, excuse me. Intuit had a nice day off of earnings, but Cloud's still unable to shake those that CrowdStrike hit. And again, still a nice day. It probably gets up into the low 280s. I think I said 282 to you guys. Maybe you can get to the 200 MA, but again, high, lower high. I don't like it when tech's lagging. You know, I don't like it when tech's lagging. Apple, again, I needed an engulfing reversal today. It got one, but this is still not a strong chart here. Tesla, you know, it's still below. It's just getting above the 20 period moving average just now. So these, you know, we want to see the NASDAQ leading, we want to see tech leading, we want to see semis leading, and you want to see the transports leading. And the transports, nice bid today, up 1.5%, but again, lower highs. So when I see the, you know, divergence from the transports and the semis, it tells me that there's problems ahead. So we have to be careful of that. And this makes this whole reaction today, this makes the next FOMC a sell the news event. Assuming we don't sell off somehow before then and we hold up, it's going to be a sell the news event because we already know Jerome Powell just told us exactly what he's going to do in that meeting. So just be aware of that. Anyways, before I get spend too much time on all this, interest rates here. So 10-year yield down 1.2% on the day. That makes sense with you know, the dollar getting hit here. The 30-year is up. So still, you know, a lot of recession data here. We have the Chicago PMI. That was terrible. That was a barf number. So 30-year also kind of telling us that there's problems here. But TYX up a little bit on the day. The 2-year is up 20 basis points. So that is a good sign. So at least in the near term, the 2-year is holding up well. And it does have that inverse pattern there. So inverse head and shoulders. So that would probably take you about, yeah, probably brought you about to that 100 moving average there if that were to play out. But the 2-year is holding up for now, so we definitely need to respect that. All right, home builders, nice pattern there. It's still starting to play out. You still could make a case, though, it's like the transports and the semis where it has that lower high. But this pattern is so good. I mean, this is such a clean pattern here on XHB that I still think I'd give it the upside bias here moving forward. Same thing with ITB. So nice pattern there. VNQ also getting a nice bid here. Still not above this high pivot, but it's, you know, it's in decent shape, so we'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now. Financials, interesting little dynamic here on the financials. So XLF was actually down pretty sharply earlier today, so maybe a little bit of distribution, and obviously getting an algo bid with everything else right now, but possibly a little bit of distribution here on XLF. I still think JPM needs to get up to about 140 or so, and then it's probably going to run into a pretty good amount of resistance. But you know, it did have a nice little reversal. You went down and touched the 20 moving average, and you got a bid off of it. So it's still holding up for the time being, and we'll respect it right now. But it was leading to the downside earlier today. Broker dealers having a nice bid as well. Again, still lower highs right now. Probably wants to go up and tag 490, but we'll see what it does here over the next couple of days. Crude continuing higher here, basically unaffected by Powell and whatnot. Up 3% on the day. It's not a huge move. I mean, we haven't seen a really big move in crude in a while. You know, you got to go back to like June and kind of July where we had those big 5% days, 6% days. But you know, it's getting a nice bid off that trend line. We'll see how it reacts. The weekly close will tell me a lot more here. But crude having a nice pop there. It's still below those moving averages there on the daily, so just take that for what it's worth. XLE is up decently. Not nearly as much as tech though. Again, makes sense with kind of bonds bidding here and tech really being the darling today because of Powell's comments. But XLE is holding up right now. Again, my analysis on that has not changed. There's XOP, OIH, you guys know the deal. With those nat gas here, again, kind of all over the map today. It is lower. I'm actually taking that off my watch list or off of one of my screens here rather, just because it's been such a mess lately. But look at that. It actually got down there. Oh, it actually filled that gap today. So, yeah, we'll see what it does here. I just do not like the pattern right now. But nat gas is holding up, and we'll respect it for now. Dollar index also taking a hit today, so down almost 1%. But take a look here. It hasn't taken out that low from the other day, from Monday. And if you obviously look at the spiders, we've taken out that previous high from a week or two ago. So maybe a little bit of divergence there. It's definitely something to pay attention to. It's still above the 200 moving average. Again, those downside targets are still the same, so 104, somewhere in that area. I do think it gets a bounce, maybe even a low. So we'll continue to watch the dollar. Gold, nice pop again today, up 1%. Popped up earlier and then initially sold off on the report leak, and then it just took off to the upside. So gold holding up well. GDX, new higher highs here on the daily time frame. That probably wants to get back up to 30, 50, maybe 31 there. I think it can pierce that 200 moving average, but nice little bid there for GDX. Silver here, I've been telling you guys 23 for a while now. Got a nice pullback pattern into the 20 moving average, and now we're getting a bid there. So I do expect that target to get hit. The miners here, SILJ, nice pop, although not a higher high there on SILJ or SIL. So a little bit of a micro red flag here for silver in the near term. And then platinum, powerhouse pop here, up 4%. Remember I told you guys a week or two ago, it's a little bit higher risk here, but you could play this 20 moving average pullback, and if you grinded with it and held with it, that paid you off nicely. So if you got in 975, 980, you're up 70, 80 points there on platinum. So nice move there on platinum. Copper here up as well, up 4%. So that needed that. I really needed to get away from that kind of inside pattern it had on the daily and recoup some of the losses from that engulfing reversal. The weekly pattern's still pretty choppy though, all things considered. All right, let's get over to Bitcoin. I haven't really even checked on Bitcoin that much today. Yeah, it's getting a bid with everything else. So up to 17, yeah. So above that 20 moving average finally, probably wants to go up and test the 50. You'll have some resistance there at 18, right at this red bar. What is this, 15, 18, 18.7 we'll call it. And then the high is just right around 19,000. So that's where it's going to have some resistance here if it gets up there, but still an inside pattern. This is nothing robust. This is nothing great. Just look at Bitcoin here versus the SPX. So it's not showing relative strength right now, and for obvious reasons here. But Bitcoin getting a nice little relief bid with the rest of the market. All right, so it's about 335. Market should hold up nicely. Wow, huge bid here on the spiders at 406 now. Big move there on the SPY, and Q's up to 292. So we're going to get above that 200 moving average here on the daily, and I'm waiting for the pom-poms to come out on CNBC. I'm sure they will be. I'm sure they're already gearing up the segment as I speak here. So we'll watch that. Again, this trend line now, minor. So next level here is really that 411 handle. We could even get through that too, but that's really kind of your bigger and better test at this point. So anyways, guys, going to wrap up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.